Start video transmission. Now we wheeze up, wheeze running. Should be. Should be up. Go ahead.
Got it.
Got it. All right, we're up. I don't know.
Good morning, Timmy.
Yeah. Good morning, Eric. How we doing this week?
We are doing very well, brother. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Can't complain. You know.
We got
It's,
communication on Tuesday.
Yeah. Communication on Tuesday. We got a few things coming up. It's so busy this time of year.
Yeah.
Like it's so busy.
Like we have Table Lodge in December. We've got the Master Mason degree coming up next month.
Yep. I think right after Halloween, right?
I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be in the degree as more than just my senior deacon role. I won't put it out there.
Yeah. Well, you can't. Come on. Public airwaves,
Yeah,
man. Public airwaves.
You're right, brother. But
Public airwaves.
I took your suggestion to heart when we were talking about it a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and gotta get more involved.
Yeah. Got to do.
And I gotta tell you, like the first time I actually watched it, when I wasn't in it, and I saw you, I saw Hank's performance. Like we have a bunch of talented guys in our lodge.
We do, and there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, it's, we got a good mix now of guys that have been here for a long time. I mean, I'm coming up on 15 years. I think Nick's coming up on 15 years.
What's Ozog at? Like 18?
No. Chris was raised after I was.
Oh, okay.
But that's just a testament to things like, how involved you are. Chris is very involved.
Yeah.
Very involved at the Grand Lodge level, always has been.
Shout out to our district deputy.
So, it's all about the amount of, time and effort that you're able to put in, and that you can put in. Some people, once Logan's grown out of the house, I'd be able to put more time in right now. It's hard. But yeah, it's all about the amount of effort you put in, the amount of time, the things that you want to do. You'll have a much better time. So,
speaking of Logan, as he's getting older, you gonna do Game Away with him?
I mean, it's going to depend on him, and if that's something he wants to do. Unlike a lot of parents today, I don't overschedule my kid.
No,
so
me either. It's
he's
too much.
He does, he's got football, he does hockey, he plays lacrosse. I coach the football, I coach the lacrosse.
Oh, so that's 3 seasons already.
Yeah, that's 3 seasons. So it's about the amount of time that we have, the amount of time that he has. I mean, he's got to do schoolwork, he's got to do that, so all that. So I mean, maybe. Or maybe when he's a little older. I mean, he's also, he goes to Catholic school, so there's a lot of requirements there for like community service and things that he's got to do as he gets older. I mean, right now he's in kindergarten, so they don't have them doing any of that kind of stuff. But I know once you hit, especially middle school at St. Mary's, and I'm sure at other Catholic schools, private schools in general, there's a lot of requirement for community service and things like that. So I mean, again, I don't want to overburden him.
Of course, no, I don't blame you.
You know, because I see a lot of kids. Like I've got a lot of kids that play for me in the springtime. I was talking to a couple of coaches about this the other day, and I'm like, you know, it's like you commit to play a sport, and then, well, I got to leave practice 40 minutes early because I got to go to soccer practice. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You know,
then you're not committing.
Like, if you want to play this sport, play this sport. You know, and I had a couple kids that played for me way back in the day when I was coaching high school, and they weren't getting some playing time. Their mom would come, well, you know, they've got hockey. I'm like, okay,
but he's here now.
It's a choice. You know, if they're here for practice, they play in the game. If they don't come to practice, like it's not fair to the kids that come and work and bust their butt. You know, you have to be an active participant. And I think today a lot of parents they overschedule the kids, and the kids are burnt out, and I see it. And
oh yeah,
you know they're like go going from one thing to the other thing and one thing to the other thing, and I'm like, you know, and then you get up into high school, you know, and then college. It's, you know, coaches don't want you doing that stuff, you know, and it does affect your academics and all that stuff. So who knows? So yeah, I mean, if he wants to, I mean, he's interested in masonry just because he's been coming here since he was a kid. You know, it's the same thing for me. My dad was a mason. And I used to, you know, come to lodge, you know, and stuff like that. But you know, we'll see, you know, what that looks like when he's down the line. Your girls are all in rainbow, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh well, Livy Swillian, she's actually a grand rep this year, which means that she represents Connecticut for Virginia, Colorado, and I think that might be a Virginia, Colorado. I might be missing one.
That's quite the spread there.
But you don't have to like. Usually they'll have what we the equivalent of Grand Lodge. Like they'll have what they call a Grand Assembly. Connecticut has one in March, and other states soon follow. We actually went down to Virginia this year after Livy got assigned this.
Yeah.
Great time. It was a lot, and of course, you know, you're gonna have formal wear and things like that. It's a big to do.
Yeah.
We get down there. We drive 8 hours. We leave at 2:30 in the morning and get down there. And Livy's got to get into her formal wear. So they have to have a white dress, a white gown, and they have to have a colored one.
Yeah.
So the white one fits fine. We get down there. Before we leave, we're like, she has 3 or 4 colored dresses. And like, these all fit, right? Oh, yeah, they fit fine, Dad. Okay. We get down there, none of them fit. Actually, no, excuse me, one of them fit. So instead of being seen in the same one all weekend, another one of the Rainbow Girls had an extra and let her borrow for one day. Then my wife and my youngest daughter had to go out into like strip malls around the area.
Yeah, right.
And we were at James Madison University, awesome campus, love it down there. Of course, it was oppressively hot.
Yeah, that's Virginia.
End of June, and it was crazy. But it's a good time.
The weather down there gets crazy. I think Aaron's cousin got married down in Virginia. I don't know, 2008, 2007, somewhere in there, and we drove down, and it was brutal. It was like it was just so oppressive and humid.
We T's cousin got married in D.C. back like June of 2013. So Liv hadn't even been a year yet. So we took her. We flew. We made the mistake and we flew down there. And we're going through Bradley because you have to bring a car seat with you on the plane because they can't sit on your laps anymore.
Yeah.
So that was a fun experience. Of course, I had to take that and the bags. And then, so we get down there, and again, it's hot. We walked around the Smithsonian Zoo. They had the new panda cubs that year. It was awesome. We got to see red pandas and stuff like that. So then we're flying back, and we were stuck on the tarmac for like an hour. They didn't even bring out water.
Ouch.
And I don't know how, because I remember Livy not being the quietest person on, being 10 months, 11 months old, of course. But then we had people, like, when we were getting off that were on the plane, was, oh, your little girl was so good on the plane. I was like, are you sure about that?
I guess, well, comparatively, right? Or,
probably, yeah. But
I don't know. I've never been on a plane with a kid. or I've never been on a flight where like there's been like a totally unruly child. So I guess I don't have any frame of reference for like how good or bad a kid should be. I just don't have it. But
so, needless to say, that was the last time we've flown.
Yeah.
And I have been on flights in my youth where a kid was kicking me in the back, like kicking the seat I was sitting in from the back, and that was annoying. I didn't say anything. I had patience. But yeah. Anyway, getting back to Rainbow. So yeah, and then they've asked her to prepare to get in Grand Line.
Mm-hmm.
So she actually has to prepare for a role that she hasn't had yet, and they have to memorize it like we do.
Yeah.
As they should. So she's actually prepping for that now, and so in the future, when there's an opening, she will be recommended for that role, which is great. And it's awesome because when they do this for the girls that haven't had a part yet, they don't overlap parts. So if that part is taken, nobody else can. It's not like you're competing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
okay.
I thought that was awesome. So when there is an opening, she should get, as far as my understanding goes.
Yeah.
But she's liking it. They do a lot of charity work. They raise money, and we have a lot of fun. And it's something that I've wanted my girls to do. Like, even if we weren't in Rainbow, around this age, I'd be looking for opportunities for them to volunteer at, like, maybe the food kitchen or in animal hospitals and things like that.
Agreed.
They have to learn that it's not just about them.
Yeah.
All the time. So
that's a good attitude to have.
And just one more point as we're on this still. As of yesterday at the Grand Lodge, Seneca does have a charter for Guy Mollet again.
Okay, cool.
So they're looking for kids, and Squires start at 10 years old, and full Guy Mollet members start at 12. So again, if that's something that Logan might be interested in, he has plenty of time to think about it.
Plenty of time. Seneca's what? That's Torrington.
Yeah, that's Torrington.
Yeah.
That's Torrington, but it's not bad. It's not.
Oh, remember where I live?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true.
I'm not here in town, so it's.
But I don't know where the other nearest one would be.
I don't know. Again, it's something we'd look into if he's interested. I try to let him kind of not dictate, but let us know what he wants to do. We'll make suggestions. I mean, the only thing I'm kind of forcing him to do is lacrosse. Like, you got to give me 1 year of lacrosse. Like, if you hate it, fine. You can go play baseball or whatever. But you got to give me 1 year. You got to try it.
Would you keep coaching lacrosse if he's not into it anymore?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's my thing.
That
that's what I do. So, but yeah. Speaking of sports, I mean, we should probably talk about some football. What do you think? Let's talk about some football.
Let's talk about last week first.
Let's talk about last week.
I was watching your game intently because it was the battle of the Haley Welch. It was the Haley Welch Bowl, as I call it, the name of the Hawk Tuah girl.
Yeah, well, I mean.
If Nick did not have Chris Godwin on his team, or he did not have that performance, you would have won.
Yeah, I know. It was, it was good. I've been fairly consistent.
Absolutely.
But Jamar Chase underperformed. Mark Andrews actually overperformed. So yay.
For once.
For one, yeah, it's not going to happen this week. Yeah, Calvin Ridley. That was awful.
And they have
but Saquon too. It's funny. You look at and both Nick and I played him in the flex, and and I've been playing Calvin Ridley most of the year in the flex, and it worked out good. So, Wright too. I picked up Wright because Butker was on a bye last week, and he puts up 13. So good looking. But then Stephon Diggs killed me a little bit. And again, how did Etienne negative 10 points, negative 0.10 points, and I still lose. It's Chris Godwin just came out.
I had Tank Bigsby as one of my running backs last week. So that's one of the options I had, and he disappointed too.
Yeah,
with Etienne.
I mean, how much was Nick kicking himself though for leaving Cole Kmet on the bench?
Yep,
24 points. Have a day, kid.
That's all right. You don't that's why that whole offense you should have them on your bench. Keenan Allen had a great week too.
Keenan Allen had a good week. Caleb Williams had a great week. I mean, it was obviously the Bears were like the story of the NFL last week, just kind of coming out of nowhere.
I don't know. The Commanders were up there too. They came within, excuse my language, guys, but a pubic hair's length of winning that game against Baltimore.
They did, and it was, it's again, it's one of those years in the NFL
that you don't know. You just
that NFC, what is that? The NFC North there,
yeah,
with the Bears, and like they're all just like hungry this year.
Love it.
And then you got and then the Lions.
The Lions look so good this year. I can't even.
That beat down on that beat down
on Dallas.
Dallas was. I mean, they tried to throw to each of their O tackle. I mean, and
they were just. It's like
and it was a big FU from Dan Campbell.
Absolutely.
Just what are you talking about? But
one of the pods I was listening to this week, they put it perfectly. It's like the Lions were trolling the Cowboys big time. Like from the first play of the game, they were like, "Yeah, this offensive tackle is eligible."
Yeah.
I think that's
awesome.
And
I mean, to do that to the Cowboys on Jerry's birthday.
Yep.
Time to retire, bud.
No.
82 years old now. Not that I'm not trying to be
GM.
I'm not being ageist or anything like that, but you know what, bud? You clearly you gave Dak Prescott one of, if not the biggest contracts in the NFL.
Yep. It was the biggest at the time.
The biggest contract at the time in the NFL. And what's he done? I mean, just
well, he got to what, the second game in the playoffs last year. Which they should have lost.
Right. So here we got regular season this year. Completion percentage 63%, 1,600 yards, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Got a quarterback rating of 85.
Oh, that's better than Aaron Rodgers.
It is. But, you look at the inconsistent performance, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Best game against the Ravens, 379, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Every other game except the game against the Giants, he's thrown, and the Browns. So half the games, he's thrown 2 picks.
Yep.
Touchdowns are up there. But it's just, I mean, this guy, I just don't know how you call him an elite quarterback. I just don't, because he's not winning.
Well, last year he showed it. Well, again,
he's not winning. He's not winning.
No, not this
and
year.
It's like flip it around. Huge Yankee fan, right?
They're
World Series bound. Watch that game last night. Aaron Judge,
nothing.
Useless.
No, yeah.
Useless. You're a bum. Not that you're not great. You get us there, but you can't. He can't take it over the line in the postseason.
Yep.
2 home runs. But he did nothing against Kansas City.
Well, he might be burnt out too, man. I mean, I'm just saying,
the only thing you get paid to do is play baseball. The only thing you get paid to do is play football. Now, if you need to take time during the week, you need to rest and everything else, that's great, and I think you should. And I disagree with some of the analytics-driven things that they do in sports today, because I think there's some people who don't get as much playing time as they should get, or get yanked early from a game, if you're a pitcher or something like that, and there's some people who get overplayed. But when you start to just play the averages and play the analytics, we've seen that it doesn't always work, and it doesn't always work out well in everyone's favor.
But when you're Jerry Jones, and this is your idea of going all in by not doing anything in the preseason, no trades, like they could have had Derrick Henry,
right?
And Jerry chose not to.
They did, and again, you take a lot of. I think you do take a lot of gamble on running backs, because there's, I mean, look how many people have Christian McCaffrey sitting on the IR right now, and he's not going to be the same when he comes back. He's not. I mean, maybe next year, right? But he's coming off an Achilles injury.
Yep.
I'm sure he's rehabbing it. I'm sure he's doing all the things he needs to do. They say he's going to be back, in November, December timeframe?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what they're hoping to see him back. But trust me, as someone and as someone who's had an ACL surgery, I just had my hip replacement, which obviously I wouldn't be playing in the NFL anymore if I had my hip replaced. But
no, 1 pointer in your.
It is. It took me 2 years to get everything back to what I felt was normal after I had my ACL done.
Yep.
And at the time, I was only playing. I was playing beer league hockey, and I wasn't working out at the time. I wasn't doing all that stuff. So that was just like general healing, a little bit of, working out and physical therapy. Obviously these guys have the best doctors in the world. They have the best physical therapists in the world. They have access to the best equipment, the best medicine, the best recovery, like all of that. He's still not going to be the same. He's not going to come back and blow people away. He might, but I think we see that a lot with players who come back off of injury. And if I just look back.
And they rush back, yeah.
Well, they come back in that first game. They're so amped up. They're so full of adrenaline that they can power through, and they put on these great performances. And then you go to the following week, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah, shout out Cooper Kupp this week. Come on, let's have a great game. Nothing you're sitting in my lineup or anything like that. But no, I agree. We can't. Nobody is going to be Adrian Peterson.
No.
Like nobody expected him after his ACL to come back in the time frame he did and just wallop that year that he came back. And I'm with you. I don't think Christian. He looks like he's lost his step since last season. Coming into last season at the end, he looked like he lost his step. They weren't utilizing him the way they were at the beginning. And I think he's admitted that he was playing hurt last year.
He was when you saw it in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
right. You saw it in the Super Bowl, and again, he'll come back.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
They'll still run that offense through him.
But after you come back from an injury like that, I mean, not that the Niners are going to be looking to get rid of him, but he becomes a little bit more of a liability on the commodity market. And it's the same thing. With the Giants getting rid of Saquon and things like that, took a little bit. Where's he going to land? What's he going to do? Finally ended up with the Eagles. He's doing great.
Oh, I can't believe they traded him to the Eagles. I really can't believe that.
The Giants, the New York football teams are just, I don't think they want to win football games anymore.
Except for Buffalo. Buffalo.
Buffalo when I say New York football team, I mean the Jets and the Giants because Buffalo, I mean, that's. Well, we should just make them like the first Canadian NFL team.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. Really.
Because for those people who don't, I mean, not everybody that listens to us is obviously lives in Connecticut, but for anybody that ever watches this and you don't live in the Northeast, right? There are two New Yorks. Okay, there's New York State, which is what you see on the map.
Yes.
But if somebody from like Connecticut says I'm going to New York.
They're
going to the city.
Yes.
Otherwise, they say like my buddy's in
Albany or
my buddy's in the Catskills right now. For the weekend. He didn't say I'm going to New York.
No.
It's like I'm going to the Catskills. Right. I'm going here. So when we say New York, we mean the city, and that does encompass all 5 boroughs. We'll lump Staten Island in there, I guess. But
do we have to? Staten Island's their own.
Staten Island's their own thing. They are their own thing.
Long Island too. They're their own thing.
Well, they are, but that's but they're not one of the 5 boroughs.
No, they're not.
So, so the Buffalo Bills, they're just the Buffalo Bills. It's like they're a New York sports team, but when we talk about New York sports teams, we're talking Rangers, Yankees, Mets, Knicks, Jets, Giants.
Shout out Mets tonight! Come on,
I guess
tie it up, guys.
Do they have a Major League Soccer team? They must. Yeah,
they have
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's not the Freedom or something like that.
I don't. Well, and then you have the Liberty on the WNBA side. Let's see. I'm sure I can find this out.
Which again, congrats to the WNBA for having the most successful year ever this year.
Does this really just say like New York City Football Club?
That's
their name. It's just New York City Football Club.
I was like the Washington football team.
I do not understand soccer at all. Like Logan played the last couple of years before he started football, and I still have no idea about football or football, whatever
kids
soccer,
sport. Because first they start out like when they're like 4 or 5 years old, and they don't play with a goalie; they play with these little ass goals.
Yeah,
and you're just watching kids run back and forth for the most part, and then the refs will let kids score. Then you get up to like the grade school level, and then the nets get a little bigger. They're still not allowed to have a goalie in, and you're mostly just teaching them the position, or at least I hope they're learning the positions and learning what to do and where to pass to. If the person you're guarding does this, what do you do? Things like that. And then when they get to like 6th grade, 7th grade, that's when they put a goalie in, and it's just like the structure I don't get.
I coached a little bit of soccer last year with Logan just because they needed help, and you're more. I mean, at that level, you're more of a body.
Yeah,
and they'll give you stuff to do. I mean, I think like any youth sport when you're coaching it, and the kids do start a little younger now, depending on what they're doing. Anywhere between 3 and 5 is when most kids are starting some sort of organized sport. Usually, it's soccer. Kids will start in soccer because, in a lot of ways, soccer mimics the play that they already do. Yeah. It's just running, kicking, kicking, and you can kind of teach them that. But you'll teach them other concepts. I think I've been coaching flag football this year. I mean, that's like herding cats. You'll get some kids who are really into it, some kids who aren't. Like Logan's really into it. He's been having a lot of fun. But
great.
It's I've got a couple kids on the team who they don't want to be there. They're trying. But they just they're more interested in munchkins or staring at a butterfly or whatever it is. Yeah. It's the same thing with t-ball. Like I'd go to t-ball and I'd be like, oh my god.
Oh, t-ball.
Oh my god. Because you'd get there were 3 or 4 kids who were really into it. They really wanted to play. And fortunately or unfortunately for me, I have the kid that wants to play, but then he's also like running over people to get to the ball. So they would put in t-ball. If you haven't played t-ball, what I've noticed, and I never played baseball as a kid, is most of the hits off the tee go straight up the middle to the pitcher, and they don't go very far. So they would just kind of rotate the kid to pitcher so he could pick up the ball and try to throw it to first base. Mm-hmm. Of course, every other kid would come in from every other position. So they would put Logan at like short, and as soon as that bat hit, like he was like a rocket. He's there, and he'd get the ball first, and the pitcher would get all upset. So the coach would literally like hold Logan's jersey so he can run. So yesterday, flag football we're playing. So he had a couple of nice little runs. He had one run. He broke 3, got a touchdown. But he's not really into running because also a couple of times he got caught up in players' feet, other kids' feet, or sometimes the kids get a little too rough. He banged his head, but we play on like short fields. I want to say it's maybe like a 30-yard field. Like they're very short and not as wide. So and pretty much as soon as the kids like get across the line, like they're gone. Like if you don't pull a flag within like the line, generally they're not going very far. So this kid takes off. He gets through the line. He is gone, right? And Logan I had him playing linebacker, so he kind of went in and then came out, and then I see him just trucking down the field, he catches up to the kid like I'm not even kidding, like this far from like the kid stepping in the goal line, grabs the kid's flag. And I'm looking at the ref. Like normally I'm quiet in these games because I don't like when I'm coaching my kids in lacrosse when I was coaching high school. Like I'm pretty vocal as a coach. Like But this I'm like, don't talk to the refs. And need to talk to the refs. They're really there to make sure that the rules are enforced. That's it. They're not doing it. And, I mean that's the job of a ref. But I mean they're whistleblowers, right? There's not a lot of rules nobody should be arguing. But I'm like, he got it. Like, he got the flag. He got it. He's like, yeah, he got the flag. And this poor kid is like, the poor kid that was carrying the ball, he's in tears. Because he thought he scored a touchdown.
Way to go, Logan. Proud of you.
So like, that's the thing. There's some kids who are really into these sports and they really like, and Logan's one of those kids, like, he gets all, oh, look at the butterfly. But then, like, it's like when you tell him it's time to play, he plays. But, like, this whole flag football can be tough for the kids. Lacrosse, I don't. Shout out to all the people who coached like the littles. I can't do that, and that coaching Logan in these sports the last couple of years has definitely reinforced that I am not
a patient person.
It's not that I'm not a patient person. I'm not that youth coach.
Gotcha.
Like I'm like your 3rd and 4th graders and up because most of the people I coached before now were either 7th and 8th graders going into high school or high schoolers or college kids. So. I'm used to them listening. And if they don't listen, there's a certain method of discipline that we use that you can't use on little kids.
No.
I can't make a 5-year-old take laps. Yeah. I can't make a 5-year-old. I mean, we do. Like even with my 10-year-olds, like I try not to, but then it's like, dude, you got to listen.
Yeah.
Because then they're, why am I not playing, coach? Why am I not playing? But, it is what it is, I guess. But, yeah, so last week's games, I mean...
If we can talk about my game for a minute, I just.
Yeah, who did you have last week?
I played Chris Olsen last week, and he.
Yeah, he whooped on you, boy.
If Larry didn't have the game that he had, I would have gotten the loss of the week, the biggest blowout.
Yeah, I mean, you only underperformed by about 10 points there, big guy.
Well, yeah, but look, I had Bigsby that put up 2.4 points. Trace, like again, my running backs were shot last week. Achane was still on the bench. I had Trey Sermon. He did nothing. So I had no options. I could pull Darius Slayton and put him in my flex because that's how desperate I was thanks to all the buys and my injuries. This week I should be better, but still, having 2 losses in a row, 2 sub-100-point performances in a row hurts. But you know what? It's fun. I'm still having fun. I'm glad Chris got his win. He made it to 500. Good job, bud. And good luck this week. Trevor had a great game last week against Joe.
Yeah, that was a good game.
And Chris Ozog, friggin' putting the hurt on Justin. You know.
Well, I think we all want to see that.
Oh yeah, we all want to see that.
We're all looking forward to that.
So here's your shout out, Chris. I like I promised you. You know, he just Josh Allen, fantastic. Zach Moss.
Unfortunately, Justin started Dak.
Oh yeah, dude. You know.
Yeah, Josh Allen coming through.
If Dak had a usual game, he might have put.
He might have put Justin over the top.
Bucky Irving continues to perform well. Kamara had a great week last week. Not so much on Thursday. He didn't perform that well on Thursday. Yeah. CeeDee Lamb did well. Zay Flowers did good for Justin last week.
I don't think CeeDee Lamb's going to be staying in Dallas too long.
This is last year, right?
I think it is his last year, and I think he wants to win. He's not winning in Dallas. I just don't. It's.
Hey, CeeDee, you will be welcome in New England, buddy.
Well, you know what? We're not going to win for at least another 2-3 years. We got to shore up our offensive line.
Absolutely,
100% got to shore up the offensive line.
But Drake May has promise.
Drake May has promise, but I think they're playing Drake May probably because Bob Kraft said, "I've spent all this money.
We want to
get people in the stands." But I think it's a little bit of a mistake. I think you still split time with Jacoby Brissett. Give Drake May time to develop.
But he can run too. We haven't seen that in New England in a long time.
Yeah, he can run, but but I don't see CeeDee Lamb staying there because I just in New England for years, Brady would every time his contract came up for renewal, and this was like a point of contention, I think, even with the players union. He'd be like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah,
just I'm good. I'm good because he's making. I mean, first of all, you make so much money on the back end.
Yeah,
endorsement deals and whatever else.
Well, it didn't help that his wife was rich.
Well, yeah, his wife. I mean, yeah, obviously they didn't need them. They're not hurting, and whatever he was getting paid at the end there, $25 million or whatever it was. I mean, it was a lot of money, but then the flip side of that is you spend all your money on one player, Dak Prescott. Well, you have no cap room.
Yeah, not only that, Micah Parsons had to get paid. CeeDee Lamb, they let Amari Cooper go. They brought back Zeke. I don't know why.
So it's all as always it's interesting to see the inner workings there. But we see other players who are stars doing the same. Sidney Crosby just did it in the NHL for Pittsburgh for the Penguins. He's like, no, I'll take a little less money. Let's get he's getting older.
Yeah.
And he wants to win another cup. So.
And see, that's putting team first. That's putting team first.
Well, it's putting team first, and I get it. All these guys got to get paid.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Every one of you's got to get paid. But
you're putting your body on the line. You got to get paid.
So, but it's it's like I listened to I think it was Shaquille O'Neal talking about when he first he got that first big paycheck. And he didn't realize about taxes and fees and all that. So he's like, I got like $20 million or whatever. And he goes out and he buys a house and he buys a car and he does this and he does that. And then he's like, I've got no money because, even before, like he had to take out some loans because he didn't realize that half his money was going to go to taxes.
That's why
then finally he's like, so after he worked all that out, he started buying, I don't know, Krispy Kreme franchises or something. I can't remember what it was exactly. Sorry, Shaq. But that's what you've got to set yourself up for success in the long term, right? And I get it. You come out of college, but these kids in the NFL, the NFL, they do not recruit out of high school. No. I don't think they can.
No, I
do not think they can. And
they don't have the bodies yet.
So these people are supposed to have gone to college. They're supposed to be intelligent on some level. Teach them this stuff because they come out and it's like, I got $20 million and I'm going to spend $25 million that I ain't got. And then we hear about them, after they retire and they've got no money.
Well, that's what. Say what you want to say about Gronk, but he was smart. He didn't. He still lived with his parents, I think, his first year, and he saved. He saved his endorsements. He put those away. He spent his contract money.
Yeah.
But he put his endorsements away. He didn't spend any of that. And then he come up with a financial plan, and he actually coached and helped rookie players on the Patriots through the financial process when they came aboard. So say what you want about Gronk, but he helped out, and he was smart enough to see that you got to be smart with your money, and
100%.
Don't be a doofus about it. But so going back to the CD discussion, where do you see him landing next year? What's your prediction?
I don't know. I mean, it's I could see Kansas City trying to pick him up.
I don't think they would.
Adding another weapon there. I mean, I could see the Patriots going for it. I could see.
Not with that offensive line, he wouldn't take it. He would be dumb.
I don't know.
That.
I don't know if.
I think Buffalo.
But I could see Buffalo. Him and Stephon. That's.
Well, no, Stephon's gone now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Stephon's not in Buffalo, is he?
Isn't he? Pretty sure.
No, it's him and Josh Allen had that fallout.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He's on Texans now. He's on Houston.
That's right. Yeah.
No, Amari Cooper is there now, though. He got traded from Cleveland.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And he was on Dallas before.
Yeah, I could see the Bills. I don't know. The NFL is usually fairly predictable.
Yep.
And he'll want to go to a contender.
And he'll want to go where there's a good O-line. He's not going to want to get hurt.
Detroit. I could see him in Detroit.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right, let's make that happen. I like his prediction better than mine.
Yeah.
See, go to Detroit, man.
Detroit, because they're not going to win a Super Bowl this year. They'll make the playoffs. They're not going to win a Super Bowl. But
I think go to the championship this year.
I think one more year they pick up a couple, one or two more weapons. Shore up that D a little bit too.
Well, Hutchinson's out, man. That hurts.
Yeah, it hurts a lot.
That's the only reason they don't make the championships this year. Is they don't is because of Hutchinson being down. But they have some up and comers on their defense.
Yeah, 100%.
But nobody brings the pressure like Aiden Hutchinson. I love watching him every time. Somehow he just has an extra step, and he'll do his spin move, and he's on the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real joy to watch. I think him and Dan Campbell make a really good team.
They do. A lot of good stuff that goes on there.
Oh, man. I'm hoping for them. They're an NFC team this year. They're my pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. AFC, I don't know. I'm floating probably Baltimore. I mean, I think they have the best chance to unseat Kansas City, who I don't think are going to make it to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Their luck is going to run out eventually, and it's probably going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs this year.
Oh, definitely make the playoffs.
I mean, Kelsey's head's not in football. And I don't think that's a Taylor Swift thing. I think that's a podcast. I want to be like this.
Well, they're getting what, $250 million for their podcast, him and his brother?
Something like that.
And not even to make podcasts, to produce them.
Yeah. Well, it's again, you got to get paid after football, but you still have to play football. Yep. So
no, and Patrick Mahomes, I think he might be hurt. Something's wrong with Patrick Mahomes this year. He's not the same. And
I've never looked at Patrick Mahomes as this great quarterback. He's a top tier quarterback, but he is not.
He's
still
not young.
He's not Brady, Elway. No. He doesn't. I don't see him as a leader. I just don't. No, and
I agree.
I think he's been surrounded by very good players. He's got an excellent head coach. He's got a good offensive coordinator. And yeah, he's got to make the plays, and he does. But then he makes a lot of mistakes too. He does throw a lot of interceptions.
Like Kadarius Toney. Yeah. Everybody blames him, but no, he wasn't the one who threw the ball. Sorry.
And he sometimes has trouble reading defenses.
Yep.
He doesn't. You look at and it's a different era, right? Just going back, but Brady, Manning, they would control a lot of the game from the huddle and from the line of scrimmage. And Mahomes does not, he doesn't do that. He's tried, and I've seen him try, but he doesn't do that. And then he runs a lot.
Yep.
And does it make it unpredictable? Yes, a little bit.
But he doesn't run as much as he used to, though,
no,
either.
He doesn't. Well, I wouldn't run either after seeing what happened at Tua.
No.
But
well, that was
that was his own fault.
Tua, that was your own fault, and I look forward to you coming back, bud. But
he's not coming back.
He's coming back.
He's not coming back.
He's coming back. Watch.
He's not coming back.
I don't want him to come back.
Okay.
I want him to be safe and healthy.
That is the stupidest thing that he could do is come back.
He's coming back. I think he's already made his decision.
Well, he can make his decision all he wants. The PR nightmare, in my opinion, that would be for the Miami Dolphins or for any team that were to pick him up. Okay? I mean, he's a Fabergé egg at this point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
you got to wrap him in bubble wrap, man.
There's just no way. There's no way.
I don't want him to come back. I think he should put himself and his family first.
I agree.
Take that time, take that stuff, but I don't know why he feels compelled to. And again, this is people around him talking that he's determined to come back, and I don't agree with it. But
no, I just say
why do you want to go down like that and be a shell of yourself for the rest of your life?
We all know why. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of fame. It's a lot of prestige. It's all this. But then you risk not only coming back and having, take the injury out of it, right? You're not going to be the same player. You are not going to take risks, right?
He took that one.
When you've been injured that many times, when you've had that, doctors are going to say to him, I would assume, not a doctor, but yeah, okay, you want to go back and play, but one more hit, man, and you're done. You're done. Done. You could do serious damage, and I don't know how in good conscience your family could let you do that, let alone your coaches or anybody else. And Mike McDaniel's not an idiot.
No.
So
and he actually cares about his players. He really does. You can tell.
You're getting paid. Buy the guy out. Do what you got to do. Send him on his way. Give him a job. Give him a job on the coaching staff. Give him a job, in the front office, whatever it might be.
Let him work with quarterbacks. He can do that.
But as far as putting him on the field in competition,
no, it's
reckless. And that's probably a polite way of putting it.
And how do you want to win that badly to put him at risk?
I don't think you can.
But again, I don't think Mike McDaniel wants him to come back per se. But I don't think he's going to say no if Tua's like, I want to come back.
Maybe not. You never know.
But anyway, back to our league. Let's go to Rithia and Joe's game. Rithia is clawing his way out of the basement. He's won 2 in the last.
Let's look where we at here.
In the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
Solid win. Jordan Love had a great game. That helped him out a lot. Breece Hall was back to form.
Joe played Trevor last week, by the way.
Well, yeah, that's again. He played Gino last week. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's not Joe. It's Seamus. My bad. Ricky and Seamus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seamus played Gino last week.
He did play Gino last week.
And he had
Jordan Love again. It's
he also played Antonio Gibson. Amari Cooper will have a better week this week being on Buffalo if he plays. Noah Fant had a decent week for once. Cortland Sutton. I mean,
yeah, you had the tight ends kind of came alive last week, and they kind of didn't. Like I said, Mark Andrews did well for me. Cole Kmet sat on Nick's bench, but he did well. Noah Fant did well.
Ferguson for me had 4 points. So they it's just again, it's like Dallas game.
Like if you look at the tight ends, and we go, let's look at week 6. And who are our top. I don't want to look at the free agents. I want to look at everybody.
Yeah, buddy.
Bowers for Las Vegas, he put up 13. Ferguson put up 12. McBride put up 12. George Kittle, putting up good numbers. Laporta, finally, again putting up some decent numbers that we haven't.
But yeah, Goff has so much to spread around. It's not even funny. As far as
Oh, he does.
Weapons,
he does. Sorry, I was looking at the projection. Look at the actual stats. Yeah, Kmet with 24, Kittle with 23, Eric Ingram finally coming through.
Evan Ingram, sorry, bud.
McBride. So yeah, the tight ends.
Tight ends were good last week.
We're coming down.
If you had,
even Hunter Henry had 13.
Yeah.
But it's still
Kyle Pitts. I mean,
it's still been a little bit of a
shit show.
How are the Browns feeling about getting rid of Baker Mayfield?
Well, I think Baker Mayfield is feeling pretty good about them getting rid of Baker Mayfield.
He is, but Deshaun Watson, that's just the dude. Like, get him out of the league.
Well, what can you do? His $200 million contract is fully guaranteed. So that means even if he says, I'm quitting, you have to pay him that money.
And this is what I just don't get about these. Like, I just don't understand it. I just don't. Like.
And it keeps going up. Like, in another 10 years, a quarterback's going to be getting $300 million.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But let's see, what else do we have? Ricky did well. Rob Namice, Marshall Master out of Seneca. He's up to 500 now with a win last week over Larry. Larry's team did not come out to play for him. He played Deshaun Watson last week.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Moore had a down week, but then again, Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, I think. Caleb had a couple of running touchdowns as well. They spread the ball around very well. Chuba Hubbard had a decent game.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not. And Larry, I know you told me, but I got to bring this up. You didn't play a defense last week. Not that probably would have helped, but
he didn't play a defense.
No, he had Tampa Bay on his bench. Session was a 19.
No, he played Tampa Bay.
No, I have his.
Rob didn't play a defense.
No, Larry didn't play a defense.
No,
Rob played Seattle.
In week 6?
In week 6, yeah. He played Seattle. Seattle got 2 points for him.
What's Larry's team name?
Ambiguous Falls.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. Big Shoots.
Yeah, me too.
Tampa Bay, week 6, put up 19 points. Oh, was sitting on his bench.
Yeah, he's sitting on his bench, yeah. So even though that wouldn't have helped him,
no.
Your team just had an off week, Larry, but you're looking good for this week. Keep it up. And he had David Montgomery on his bench for 21 points. Larry, if you're not gonna play both of Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, I would gladly take one of them off your hands. And Bobby, I know you're trying to call me right now, bud, but we're in the middle of a podcast, dude. So
yeah, we got speaking of that kind of stuff. We are coming up on the trade deadline.
We are coming up
on the trade deadline.
Like 2 weeks,
2 weeks.
Yep.
So we don't do a lot of trading in this league.
I don't think we trust each other enough to do trades.
There's plenty of collusion.
Well, sitting right here across from you, of course.
Yeah, I'm the one that colludes. So okay, bud.
No, I said I'm the one sitting across from you. So.
Right. Come on, man.
Hey, I remember that trade you tried pulling with me a year or two ago, and that was it was ridiculous.
Bro, I will give you Pacheco for.
I'll give you Rashee Rice for Pacheco. How about that? We'll do an even IR trade.
No, how about, I give you Pacheco, you give me Cooper Kupp.
We'll see how Cooper does today. Maybe I'll trade you Devontae Adams. And see.
Yeah, right. Oh God.
What? I got
he's
him playing.
He's going to the Jets.
Yeah, he's there. He's going to play today.
Oh my God!
And I hope Aaron Rodgers throws.
Aaron Rodgers,
touchdowns.
He's the LeBron James of the NFL.
Oh, I wouldn't. I would go somebody else. I wouldn't go to LeBron James.
Can't.
Because LeBron James actually, cares about other people.
No, he doesn't. LeBron James cares about
LeBron James started the school. Like he had he created a public school, and he fully funded it himself. Aaron Rodgers isn't doing that. No, he
sounds like a trick to get into heaven.
No,
because it ain't winning championships.
No, Aaron Rodgers is the Derek Rodman of the NFL. Not Derek Rodman. Is it
Dennis Rodman?
Dennis Rodman. There we go.
Dennis Rodman?
Yeah, Dennis Rodman.
Maybe.
I think that's a better.
Dennis Rodman could never command somebody to do something, though.
No, but he thinks he can. And I don't.
Dennis Rodman never did that. Dennis Rodman was just like, I'm here to play basketball and play basketball.
Dennis Rodman went to North Korea to try to talk to Kim Jong-un.
We're talking about sports, not politics.
I'm just saying, that's something Aaron Rodgers would do.
No, Aaron Rodgers would crawl into some hippie hole somewhere.
He'd go on ayahuasca, and then he'd get on a plane to go to North Korea.
Whatever it might be. Anyways. We're winding down here. Let's take a quick look at this week's matchups.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
I'm losing to Rithia. I'm projected to lose to Rithia, but I'm hoping that comes through.
Let's see.
We got Joey against Chris.
Ozog. Yep, he's projected to win.
He's projected to win, but I think that's going to be a pretty even game.
Let me see. Josh Allen versus Tennessee. That's going to be a good game for him.
Yeah.
Zach Moss, get Zach Moss off your lineup, Ozog, please. You're killing me, Smalls.
Hey, we're this deep in the season. No more advice.
Ken Walker is on Joe's in Joe's lineup, but he is playing hurt. Cook is also got some sort of toe injury.
I see a lot of Jets have made their way back onto Joe's team.
Well, yeah, but Aaron Lazard is still on Chris Lazard's team. You might want to pull him off your lineup as well. Oh, I'm sorry, no more hints. Yeah.
Yeah. Get Sheamus versus Trevor.
That's gonna be a good game.
I don't think so. He is way. I mean, what's going on here that's keeping him?
Well, Sheamus played Antonio Gibson again. He only put up.
He played Sutton, put up 0 points.
Damn. And Drake May was on his bench.
His kicker's on a bye.
Hey, Sheamus, this isn't a hint, but you have 2 open bench slots. You can pick up a couple players, bud. Pickens.
Got Rob versus Justin, which is actually could be a pretty even matchup. We got Justin projected at 66%, but playing Brock Purdy versus KC. That's a tough defense.
Yeah.
It is the rematch of the Super Bowl, but we'll see. Kamara
had a bad game. He had a down game.
Dak's on a bye. So it's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
You've got Larry. He's projected to beat you, but I think that'll be a good one.
Well, I'm also I left Hawkinson in my lineup, so I just didn't care. This isn't a snub to you, Larry. I would have done this against anybody this week. So yeah, if I do win and Hawkinson didn't play, again, it's not you have a great team and you're set to beat me. But we'll see. I got Achane coming in. Daniels is playing Carolina. He's going to roll right over him. Brian Robinson is going to have a good game that game. I got the Sun God playing against Minnesota. That will be a shootout. So I expect big things from them. Cooper Kupp is coming back. Devontae Adams I pick up. How did you guys let me pick up Devontae Adams and Hawkinson in the same week? I have no idea. But thank you from the bottom, the cockles of my heart.
I want to know how I keep getting the 12th waiver claim.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
It's every week, man. And I've scored more points than I have points against me, but yet somehow I'm still 3-3.
Man, I should have played Bigsby this week. He had 23 points.
Should have done something.
But yeah, and so let's see. What else we got? We got Chris Olsen versus Andrew. Andrew is projected to win.
Yeah, Andrew's got a solid team this week.
Andrew, I hope you get your second win this week, bud. I'm pulling for you. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
But,
get it done, boys. Get it done.
Come on. And again, hit that chat up. Let's talk some smack. Let's get some trades in.
Yeah, you got to promote this at Lodge. You got to get people, doing their thing at Lodge. Well, that's up to you. Sell it. Come on.
Yeah.
Sell it.
Well, come with me. Come to Lodge.
Well, I won't be here this week.
You won't be here this week?
No, Aaron's away, so I got kid duty all week.
Gotcha. All righty. So I'll talk crap about you when you're not here.
Yeah, it's not like the folks who have like older kids that I can like leave down here. Like,
oh, I can't leave mine alone either. Luckily, my wife isn't going anywhere. But yeah, I mean, we have 5 teams now that are 4-2. We have 5 teams that are 3-3, and everybody else but Andrew is 2-4. Mm-hmm. So it is anybody's league. It is anybody's trophy.
No, it's still very much up for grabs. So let's start thinking about what we want to do at the trade deadline. Again, that's a couple of weeks away. So if you want to do any trading, this is going to be the time to do it.
Yep. And, you can put players that you want to trade, that you're open to trade, up on the trading block. I have all 4 of my wide receivers up there right now. I think Justin has his whole team up on the trading block.
Pretty much.
So, again, I'm open to anything except for trading Pacheco for Cooper.
Anybody wants Pacheco, they can have him for just the low price of the best player on your team.
Sorry, I learned a long time ago not to trust Kansas City's running back by committee.
I mean, Bobby, if you want to give up, say, Christian McCaffrey.
Wow, for Pacheco, he might go for that.
So good luck this week, everybody. We're going to have some fun. Yeah, don't forget, we do have a communication on Tuesday night. Don't know what dinner's going to be, but it sounds like there's some leftover pasta from your event.
And homemade meatballs.
Homemade meatballs, there you go.
If we're so inclined, that will be what for dinner is this week. And it was excellent. Like, it was my grandmother's recipe. I finally got it to match it, and it's amazing. She is part Sicilian, by the way, so take that as you will. And like Timmy said, let's get through the next couple of weeks before the trade deadline. Let's see a couple of trades on there. Let's make things happen, man. Don't just sit back and just think, oh, if I don't do anything, then next week maybe I'll win. No, you gotta make some choices.
Yep, gotta be active.
You gotta be active. You can't win your league by the way you draft, but you can definitely lose by it, and you can lose by not being active.
100%.
All right, buddy, you got anything else left?
No, I'm good.
All right, you want to get a tagline this week since I screwed it up last week?
I don't know. What's the tagline?
All right, I guess I got to do the tagline. Thank you for listening to us. We are the Village Idiots Fantasy Football Podcast. We are Connecticut's best Masonic Fantasy Football Podcast because we are Connecticut's only Masonic Fantasy Football Podcast. Be good to each other. Have a great week, guys.